away. There's plenty of them on the planet, but there's plenty of these people that will show you honor as well. And so it's all about what you're focusing on. If I'm focusing on the lack long enough, I'm putting out a frequency of lack, and the universe responds to that, period. If I'm focused on abundance, even though I don't have abundance today, but I really would love to, and I hold that focus long enough, and I keep getting excited for when that's coming, it will come to me. It has to. Like a magnet, I will draw that in. And all I need to do is hold my focal point and keep my patience in that process of creation. And this is where most humans actually are missing the mark, is that so many, they feel like they know they don't like this, but they really want this. So they don't want A, but they want B. But what they'll do is they'll talk about they want B, and they'll spend maybe 10 minutes talking about that. And then they'll go right back into the fear and the anger and the resentment of why they have A. Yeah. And in their silent thoughts, they'll just feel like, man, I'll never get away from A. I'll always have to have A. And they make a story. And that story starts to really become the glue that holds them to that situation. So now, if we don't need to create a story, and we realize that this whole world is an illusionary world where we're creating, if we're not too attached to it, and that's what Spirit teaches me all the time, is that so many humans are too attached to their reality. So they're always focused on what's right here, and they think that's it. So we start to focus on limitation, we will experience limitation. So people like Einstein, that we're always saying, to focus on the infinite, to focus on the source energy, and that the greatest gift is our imagination. It's not our intellect. It's not what we already know. What we already know, we know, and we've got it figured out. It's expansion. So if I'm only caught up in what I know and I'm solidly attached to that, I won't allow anything new to come in. So I'll give you an example. I had a client recently calling in and sharing that she wanted to understand more of laws of attraction. She was wanting to do better at manifesting what she wanted in her life. But there was a level of her that was very attached to what she knew, even though what she was experiencing was not fun and she didn't like it, but that's what she knew. So it feels comfortable to cling to that. So what I was challenging her with was, you may not be experiencing angels. You may not have any experiences yet to speak of that you feel that angels have come in, or any spiritual experiences that you can share, but it doesn't mean that they're not available to you. And she's like, well, I'm not really tuned into the angels. And I said, I believe you on that. And so what it is that it's not that angels don't exist. It's just, are you all tuning into them? Or are you tuning into just what you know? So if you've been taught a lot of Bible stories your whole life, and they're about fearful things like, ooh, I can't talk to that girl Tanya because she's reading angel cards and doing angel tarot, and in my religion they said that's evil and that's bad and that could be voodoo, and so I'm going to cling to this story even though I'm really suffering. I feel really freaked out. I keep praying to this God that I don't know even exists, but I'm hoping it does. But I'm not willing to open myself enough to listen to someone who could bring another perspective that could actually bring me out of this hell that I've created. And so that's what I'm trying to help you guys see, is be open to releasing your story. Be open to releasing your attachment to your reality. If you're living in an apartment and you're barely paying the rent today, and you don't have a whole lot of extra money for groceries, and you're smoking all the time and you really wish you didn't smoke, that's your reality right now, but it isn't got to be a reality next month, and it doesn't take long to shift. So if you're in that situation and you're like, man, I could be taking better care of myself, I could be using my money in more efficient ways, I'll show you. There are people that all the time, they will tell me, if they'll meet me and they're like, I'd like to work with you, but your prices are kind of high and I just don't know if I can afford it. But then they're going to go to the store later and they're going to buy cigarettes for $10 for a pack and take that into their bodies, and it's actually poisoning their lungs and taking away their life force. I look at that logically and I'm just like, basically what you're showing me is when you take your money and you go invest in poison to put in your body, you don't really have a desire for health and wellness. That's one of the first things we got to look at is, what am I investing my abundance into? If I have abundance and I go and spend it on vodka, or I go and spend it on cigarettes, or I go and spend it on pornography, or, eating out all the time, buying a bunch of clothes so people think I'm cooler, whatever it is that we're putting our money and energy into, part of it is looking at what you're valuing. Because I see people all the time that say they can't afford to come to a yoga class, which is $25 for 2 hours, $25, 2 hours. But I will see them getting their hair dyed once a month for $130. I'll see them getting their fake nails done. And so I'm saying this not to be disrespectful about, physical beauty, because it's okay to want to pamper ourselves and have physical beauty. But if we're in a place where we're suffering and we're not feeling like we're really having an abundant inner life, it's going to matter. Like who you are on the inside, you can't do anything amazing on the outside if the inside's all messed up. I can't remember the exact song, but I was listening to Lauryn Hill when I was going to the beach last week, and it was so cool because in the Lauryn Hill song, she's like, basically, if you're messed up inside, it doesn't matter what you have outside. You can sell your soul to become famous. You can sell your soul to become CEO of a corporation. Sell your soul to go and get that guy as your partner and steal him from that married woman. Whatever it is, we can do these things. But if we're not right internally, we're not really going to be satisfied externally, no matter what we draw in. So when we're looking at manifestation and creation, a lot of what I'm teaching about every week on here is about spiritual alignment, and it's real. Spiritual alignment is just as important as in your car. If your car is in alignment, it's going to run better. It's going to be smooth sailing, and it's going to be efficient. If your car is out of alignment, you know it because it's always trying to go off the road. If your body's out of alignment, you hurt your shoulder, you hurt your knee, you go to a chiropractor, have them try to correct you, or go to an energy healer like myself and have some Reiki done to help heal that. Your inner spiritual alignment is just as important. It's the most important thing. And when you come into that place of spiritual soul alignment and you start living a spirit-led life, everything else will find its alignment. The body will be in greater alignment, the mind will be in greater alignment, and your emotional body will be in greater alignment. And so everything you will create will come in a beautiful way instead of just having superficial things. So like when you look at the books like The Secret that teach about how to get your dream car, your dream home, your dream whatever. And I teach vision board classes, so we can make vision boards, we can get our dream car. But it's not going to be the thing that actually fulfills you. It's your inner alignment that actually fulfills you. So getting things, and challenge me if I'm wrong, please call in and tell me, you know what, Tanya, I got a Porsche and I got all these chicks that love me and it's satisfying me. And if that's true, we will have a talk. But I really feel that people who are collecting things, they need everyone to like their comments. They need to have 1 million fans. They need to have $5 million. And it's okay to have money, because I definitely love to have money. I won't even deny it. I love when I manifest abundance. But if I just need money and I'll do anything it takes to have it, that could be an issue. And that's what I'm talking about the difference between manifesting what you love with your own soul alignment and manifesting what you want from a misalignment, from a just, I need stuff to fulfill an emptiness that I haven't tuned into yet. And that's what I'm going to challenge you guys on, is to tune into that. So I'll pause and see if anybody's calling in, and if not, I'll finish reading what I was reading.
Ron is saying, explain what you mean about us being like a God.
Okay, us being like a God?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is something, if you look in the Bible, Christ was saying very directly was, be still and know that I am God. And this is all about interpretation, but what I feel to be truthful from my own experience with Source and with tuning in with Spirit is that when I, Tanya Love, am still and centered, and I go into the vastness of consciousness, I tune in, I tap in, I know, I am, I understand, I create. So when I am in that alignment, I am focused like a laser beam upon my intention, and I'm calling it forth like a magnet powerfully to my physical experience. So I am the creator. So source and I, source meaning the infinite vast consciousness, the energy that supports all life, I am one with that. And when I am one with that consciously in creation, I am God. Because I am creating through my thoughts, my focus, my intention, my action. So when someone is not seeing themselves in that way, so a lot of us play smaller, and so we're kind of taught to, actually, ironically, we're taught that by religion and by political stance and by, I cannot talk, I'm tongue twisted today, societal teachings. We're often taught to play small. So when you're a child and you really know what you want to do, and then your family comes in and, oh no, honey, you shouldn't do that. There's no money in that. Like, let's say the little boy, he wants to play the guitar. And he's like, one day I want to be a singer, I'm going to play the guitar. And the mom's like, no, honey, in our family, we're doctors, and you need to go to school, and we have a lot of money, and we'll pay your way, and you're going to become a doctor. And so this could be like the record that's played to this child from birth. And then he gets 18, 20 years old. He's going to college, making those important choices. His heart and soul wants to go play music, but his family's all pressuring him to go become a doctor to take over the family business. And this is when souls will go and they'll start creating from obligation, from guilt, from other people's expectations. And they are not still. They're usually overly frantically working to fulfill somebody else's need and desire. And that's never going to be satisfying or rewarding because you're not being true to yourself. So when that soul is creating from fear, they're still, in essence, one with source, but they're not conscious of it. So they're unconsciously creating from fearful, frantic, egoic action instead of taking a step into meditation and saying, you know what, Dad, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Mom. I hear what you're saying, Minister. But I'm going to be still with myself. And when I get still, and I tap in and I feel my heart center. Nope, my heart center says we're going to make music. And so I appreciate all your feedback, but I know who I am and I'm going in this direction and I'm going to take action. And this is how I'm going to share my song or share my gift with the world. And so that is when we take that time to be still and know we are gods, then we're not going to play small anymore. And I feel that's what's collectively shifting on our planet right now in a big way, is a lot of us are starting to realize we are that, and we can actually reclaim that instead of believing that we're not worthy and we have to repent of our sins and we have to go bow down in front of a stranger, some priest we don't know, and just ask him if it's going to be okay for us. What the hell? Why would he know if something's going to be better for us? Any more than why would your mom or dad know what's best for you? Your mom and dad and your family and friends and all these people, they can have an idea of things from their own perspective, but no one is ever going to know what is best for you more than you will know. That is a truth. But most of us deny ourselves every day. We deny our own knowing all the time. You got women that they really feel strongly about something, but they hang out with all the friends that are like, oh, honey, no, you should totally drop that guy and you should just do this. And then they're feeling inner conflict because their heart and soul are saying go in this direction, but then all the gossipy friends are saying no, or they're all saying, oh, you need a guy with money. And so the woman's like, but he's such a loving person and he's so good to me. And so the pressure comes in. She denies what she knows is feeling right, and she goes and waits and holds out for some rich sugar daddy to come along and then feels unfulfilled but lives in a mansion. Awesome. So my point of saying that is that when you don't play small, and I don't care if you were born into, millions of dollars or if you were born in poverty. I was born in poverty. I heard all the time, there's not enough. I was abused my whole childhood. I had people trying to kill me, literally. I have been through some shit in my journey. But going through all of it, I realized, even young, I would challenge those humans like, that doesn't make sense to me. That's out of alignment to me. I'm just going to have to trust what feels right to me because you're off. And the more and more I started to see that it's okay. There's so many in the world that are hurting and so many that are lost. So what I learned as Tanya Love is, why would I tune into that for my answers? Why would I go to the misaligned psychic that's smoking like a train and that looks freaked the hell out and ask her my future? It's terrifying to me, but I see people who do this and they don't question it. They don't discern energy. If each of you listening would stop playing small and you all would call back your